It's New Brew Thursday.
Woo! Stout day.
It is Stout Day. Stout Day. Which, you know, you might remember IPA Day. Which
Both of which are international.
Yes. Yes, it's International Stout Day because stouts are in fact international. Yeah, beer is international.
Yep. And so, unlike IPA Day, we aren't doing like 40 beers on the show today.
Yeah, because we can't do that with stouts.
Yeah,
that would be
IPAs walk that line of 5 to
We shouldn't have done it with the IPAs either.
Oh no, I think we should have. I was very pleased with the outcome.
The show went well for IPA, but you cannot possibly do. Because if you're going to do stouts on Stout Day, they're going to be like a
huge
10% and above.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not that there's stouts below
or
10%.
18, as the case may be.
Yeah, not that there's
this
stouts.
big glowing bottle right
there's
here.
the range of that's one of the cool things about stouts. Like there's such a huge range where you can get quality on the low alcohol end and quality on the high alcohol end and everything in between.
Guinness is what? 4.5%, 5%.
Not even that. It's like 4.2 or like 4.
It's
or
like
that.
it's a sessionable stout, and it's a delicious stout. I am never gonna hate on Guinness.
Yeah, you can't.
I
It's a
wouldn't
classic.
hate on Guinness either.
It's a classic.
To me, it's kind of bland and it's an easy drinking beer, but
It's
I like to watch the cascade.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty. The nitro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have the bartenders who are like super hardcore, and they'll like get the head on it, and then they'll pour it and do the shamrock. You know what I mean? You ever seen that?
Yeah.
It's so rad.
Well, I've heard, I've never been there, so I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that if you're in Ireland and they set down a Guinness and you touch it before the cascade ends, that they'll just take it away from you.
Wow.
Like,
Well, you gotta let the beer breathe.
Right, and I'm like, whoa, because I like to touch. I might not drink it, but I want to touch my beer.
Dude, you're in Ireland. They are going to take their Guinness very seriously.
Yeah.
So the first beer we're gonna have is from Williamsberg Alewerks, right? Williamsburg Alewerks. It's the Café Royale. It's a stout with coffee aged on bourbon, apparently.
Now, if this was the Royale with cheese, oh wait, that's a different movie altogether.
Then it would have oats in it.
Oats?
No.
No.
Dude, this looks really good just by the pour.
Yes, it does.
This is really our first time having this beer. This was provided to us from a little blog from the East Coast called the Beer Club for Men, and
I don't like you ladies. No, I'm just kidding.
Had to take it.
I had to take it there, yes.
It's a catchy name.
They're like, ladies of craft beer?
Well, it's like the Hair Club for Men, but with beer.
I'm not just the president of the Hair Club for Men, I'm a client.
Yeah, exactly. So they sent this to me when I actually first met them. I actually sent them a Black Tuesday, and in return they sent me like 3 beers. And I sent it to them for free.
One was a Budweiser,
No. One was a sexual chocolate, and this was another one.
So John's had sexual chocolate with the Beer Club for Men.
And so have you, because we had last weekend apparently.
Yes, I did. It was tasty.
All right, so let's get a cheers.
Cheers to International Stout Day.
I've heard a lot of good things about this beer, so...
A lot of coffee on the nose, that's for sure.
Liking the coffee.
Can I talk now? Okay, good.
Sorry, I didn't actually think you'd take me seriously. You never have before.
You underestimate me. No, tons of coffee. Wow.
What I like about this one versus other coffee stouts that I've had is that it smells like a black coffee.
Yeah, a lot of times you have that like almost creamed coffee sweetness.
Right. This is like very much like black. This is a cup of black coffee on your desk, getting you ready for work.
It's got some nice vanilla notes though. I mean, it's got a nice barrel character to it.
Nice dry finish to it.
Dude.
Not a lot of like residual sweetness.
It's actually, it goes down very nice.
Yeah.
This very clean.
Very quality beer.
You get the coffee on the flavor, just a hint of vanilla, some roastiness.
This actually reminds me. This reminds me a lot of KBS, is what it is. It's got that because KBS also from Founders has that really nice balance of stout, coffee, barrel. You know what I mean? I think this pulls that off really, really well too.
Yeah.
I don't know the alcohol content on this.
I'm guessing
it's on the bottle.
Fairly high.
I would assume.
I bet it's dancing across the bottom of the screen right now.
Yeah. 8 and 10, you know, that's a safe assumption, I think.
Yeah. I think most imperial stouts, like what we're drinking tonight, are going to be in that range.
Yeah, I think if you're going to be putting something in a barrel, I mean, it's got to be like 9 or 10. Just
you're never going to find barrel-aged Guinness.
Yeah.
But if it was...
That would be interesting.
It would be interesting.
I don't know it would taste very good, though, because the barrel would totally overwhelm that
Well,
beer.
it depends on what kind of barrel you're putting it on, you know.
How long, the blending, stuff like that. Yeah, actually, that would be interesting because having a barrel-aged beer on nitro, I think, would be really interesting. We should mention a lot of stouts, especially the dry Irish, are most Almost all beer. Yeah, almost all beer is carbon dioxide, but with certain stouts, the reason that you get that nice creamy, super fine bubbles thing is because they use nitrogen instead of CO2. So when you get a Guinness and you're like, wow, this is so different, it's nitrogen.
It's almost like you're a home brewer.
Almost, yes.
Almost.
You know something about beer.
Yeah, I do.
Speaking of which, we were going to be doing one of your homebrews on the show, but
Yeah,
we decided to wait because, as it turns out, these two guys do another show called MBT Brewing, which is all about homebrewing. And it's awesome, and you should listen to it.
Shameless plug.
And I love the show.
He does. He's also on the show once a month.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all the
Yeah. Well, we invite him all the time, and he's like, meh.
Well, we talked about doing the homebrew on this show, and we're doing Black Tuesday, Troegs, and this new one from Williamsberg Alewerks that we've never had. So it was kind of like
it wouldn't stand up.
No, I think it was just.
Well, it's not a very good beer at all, so
appropriate for.
Yeah, exactly. But if you watch the show, we're going to be doing a homebrew of mine, and it's one of the nice things is we get to go into a lot more detail about like the beer itself, and we also have Jason Harris, who's freaking awesome, one of our best friends. So check it out. Go to mbtbrewing.com.
But this overall, this is a really good beer.
This is wonderful. Yeah.
I do want to say too, for these international days that are kind of cropping up now, because it's not a new thing, but I mean it's kind of becoming a new like. Social media, like we're going to create this day, we're going to name this day, and we're going to pump it social media wise. If you're a home brewer, you should totally get on board with that.
Definitely.
And brew a beer specifically for these International Stout days and International IPA days. So, and even if you don't brew it ahead of time, like brew it on the day of.
Yeah, for IPA day I did the same thing. I did my International IPA.
It's a great way to celebrate it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was excited because this one was a little bit further ahead of time, so I was able to brew a beer for Stout Day that I was really excited about. So it's really good way to go.
Now we're going to head into Troegs. I learned about Troegs because I bought these really, really freaking cool glasses that Troegs makes, and they're actually quite similar to this in style, but they're completely like frosted, and they stay frosted the entire time.
Interesting.
Like they're always not the entire. They're always frosted. When you
is it just frosted glass?
I don't know really, but it turns clear when there's something in there.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I love these glasses, and I wish I'd brought one, actually, for the show. But
I would like to point out about Troegs that they are obviously the most metal brewery ever, because they are the only ones I know of who have an umlaut.
The umlaut. Like the Motley Crue.
Umlauts. Or like Motorhead.
Or that's like a foreign language.
Yeah.
Huh? So stupid.
Foreign language.
Yeah, exactly.
Lemmy.
All right, so let's get cheers number 2.
Cheers to Troegs.
And
this is another coffee imperial stout.
This one I get a little more sweetness off.
Yeah,
I don't get as much coffee. I get a lot of sweetness off this.
I think I love coffee. It's one of my favorite things on earth, and it's interesting because you can tell right away that they use a different variety of coffee. You know what I mean?
Right.
It has more of that like fruitiness. It's a little bit brighter. You almost get a citrusy kind of character off of it.
Right.
It says it was pretty hopped up too, right?
Yeah, whole flower hops. Akin to a French press releasing cocoa, citrus, and Java flavors. Java!
Again, this is
Java. Sorry.
What? What's the ABV on it?
7.5. So this is actually a pretty low ABV.
It's nice because this one has much more of like a fruity kind of character to it. Like
definitely.
Versus the last one.
You definitely get a lot more of the hops off of this one.
For sure, yeah.
So this actually reminds me a little bit of the new Firestone Walker 15.
Well, screw you, because no one else has had it yet, because it hasn't been released
Never
yet.
had it.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I went to the Firestone Walker deconstructed dinner, and they served it as like a, hey, you guys are awesome for being here.
That was with Sean Paxton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And aside from being an awesome dinner, we got to drink the 15, and the 15 this year uses quite a bit more of the double jack.
Okay.
Than previous versions.
Okay, so it has more of that.
So
like,
it has
hoppy,
that hoppy kick. Unfortunately, I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to age, because I don't know if it's going to age as well as the other ones have because of the fact that the hop character is so forward. But I mean, it will probably just fall out and turn into what the other ones are.
I imagine. Well, see, a lot of times when you're cellaring a beer, especially when something like has a lot of coffee flavor or a lot of barrel, where there's a really big dominant character that's going to fall off, it always goes into this like weird period after like 18 months where stuff has fallen off, but it hasn't gotten that nice aged character yet.
Right.
So it's like just kind of odd for a little while, and then after a while it morphs into something better. So like,
like we were talking about that at the party, and we were like, okay, so after a year, it's probably not going to be good at all. but after 2 years, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Which happens a lot with stouts, which is what we're talking about right now.
Stouts.
Yeah.
Way to bring it back.
Stout,
I
thank
like
you.
that.
Troegs is delicious. This is a wonderful beer.
Yeah, they do a lot of really good beers. Troegs is one of those breweries that I don't get enough of. That everything I drink by them, I really like.
Nugget Nectar. That beer is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much like one of the best hoppy amber beers that you will have ever. I mean, it's wonderful, wonderful beer, and we can't get it out here.
Well,
so
that's the thing. Like,
screw you in the Midwest.
We're so spoiled in the West Coast, but at the same time, there are some breweries in the Midwest and the East Coast that are just like.
There's a lot of breweries.
Yeah, like I'm like, I want your beers all the freaking time. Like,
Yeah,
why can't you be here?
Again, this is like the thing with craft beer. It's localized. It's
Yeah.
regional. This is
Exactly.
This
So,
is that's what makes
That's
it
why
cool.
I spend thousands of dollars a year traveling all over the place to drink beer because it's
Yeah.
worth it.
There's
Actually,
I mean, if you really wanted to get into the whole beer trading scene, you can have those beers, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it
It's
cool.
too lazy for that.
In my opinion.
It's
I'd
worth
rather
it.
fly for 8 hours and just drink it at the brewery.
Well, that's ideally that's the cool thing to do, but
Thanks, expendable income.
yeah, exactly.
So now we're going into one of the quintessential stouts as far as I'm concerned. Black Tuesday is, in my opinion, to stouts what Pliny the Younger is to IPAs.
Definitely.
And it's an extremely rare beer. It's hard to get. If you've ever tried to buy it online, you know that they can't even keep their servers running while it's trying to be purchased.
This year,
it's like going to a U2 concert.
this year,
Only
there
good.
was not a crash. There was not. I mean,
No, it was just slow. But
it was very slow.
If you were patient,
and it lasted an hour.
yeah.
And they made a hell of a lot more Black Tuesday this year than they've ever made.
I have to say that really says something about Black Tuesday when you're like, this year it lasted a whole hour.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, last year it was what, 8.5 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a significant difference. And throughout the whole process, they were tweeting, "Don't worry, we have plenty."
Yeah.
And then
calm
towards the last
down.
15 minutes, you're like, "We sold 50%. We have plenty." 5 minutes later, we sold 75%. You might want to
You
start
might wanna
buying
hurry.
it.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes, okay, we're sold out.
Yeah.
Hope everyone got it.
Well, the
So-
funny thing is I'm going to give you a little pro tip for Black Tuesday purchasing. I'll let you open that because wax tops are not my friend. Don't push anything until it's loaded. That was the biggest problem everybody was having, is they were trying to hit continue before they were supposed to. And part of how their shopping cart works is it loads up certain information secondarily.
right.
And so they were trying to pass the form without the actual information they needed, and they were getting errors. And they're like, why is it telling me the shipping method is not accurate or valid? It's like, I'm not asking for it to be shipped. It's like, well, the system thinks you are because you haven't waited for that to load and
I
clicked
think your
pickup.
point is chill out.
Yes.
See, my point is don't push me if I'm loaded. Just don't want to do it.
Or join Reserve Society. Because we got 6 bottles guaranteed this year.
Yeah.
Plus the one we were guaranteed for joining the year before.
So we got 7 altogether.
So I mean, it's one of those things where if you can afford to make the initial investment, Reserve Society is
You're
really
drinking it now.
something that you can.
I am drinking it
and
now.
you drank
aren't
it 2 days ago.
I did.
Didn't you? So
I
maybe
did.
you should take that middle finger and stick it up your ass.
Wow. First of all, I was interrupted, and then I was interrupted by a derogatory comment. That's not cool.
I was going to go somewhere with it, and I'm glad I didn't. Because anyway, so let's get cheers number 3.
Cheers, number 3 to the brewery.
Before this goes to a worse place.
Tyler, you're the man.
Awkward hugs through the internet. One of the things I really love about Black Tuesday is the nose.
Oh my god.
Like, when you smell this beer, you are smelling like what unicorns smell like.
Yeah, you get I mean, it's very aromatic.
Oh.
A lot of sweetness.
So much of the barrel, that's the good parts of the barrel.
It's the roastiness is kind of on the back end, but yeah, the barrels. This how long is this in barrels? 18.
I think it's 18
12
months.
to 18 months.
Something like that, yeah. Well, see, for the thing that I love about this beer is like with any good
chocolate.
Yeah, with any like good, big, complex beer, every time I smell this beer, I get something different. Like I smell it once, I get caramel. I smell it again, chocolate. Smell it a third time,
And
vanilla,
going back
you know?
to Black Tuesday itself, the actual release party that was on Tuesday, they had Chocolate Rain, which Chocolate Rain is like...
Chocolate rain.
Chocolate Rain.
Yeah.
Chocolate Rain is one of those beers that I absolutely adore
Chocolate
and love,
Rain.
but cannot drink more than 3 ounces of at any time.
Yeah, really.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Dude, I could drink 12 ounces of that. Like,
No, I drink a few ounces of that, and I'm like, perfect. I've hit my mark. I love it.
I think that depends on what you're, because it's very chocolatey. They add cocoa nibs to it, and it's not sweet. It's really chocolatey.
Right.
Kind of, it's like the ultimate Hershey's syrup, like 50 years ago.
Yeah, I could see adding it to milk. I could see adding that to milk,
Like, and
making chocolate milk out of it.
The viscosity of it is just like this. It melts in your mouth kind of beer thing.
Melts in your mouth, not in your glass.
I will say this though, because
especially when it's on a barrel.
Yeah, when
and
they're pouring it directly out of the
carbonated,
barrel. Yeah.
It's literally like this delicious like beer syrup in a good way. Like
you know, we're just making the entire audience angry right now.
Yeah, it's like,
like
people are just shutting it off. They're like, stop it.
I didn't go to that.
Stop it. I'm going to take it to the next
level.
level and talk about S'more Tuesday.
Yeah.
graham crackers.
Lord, yeah, crumbled graham crackers, toasted marshmallows, cocoa nibs with Black Tuesday.
In a freaking beer.
And
oh my
it
God.
really was like sitting in the Sandlot treehouse eating s'mores.
You take the beer.
You take the beer.
You add the graham.
So,
You add the mallow.
yeah.
You drink.
And I talked to Tyler a little bit about it. He was like, yeah, I'm not getting as much of the graham crackers I wanted to. And I'm like, dude, no, it's perfect. This is amazing.
I can see
but
what
they're really playing with
wow.
this particular
was my
beer
first
a lot.
I wanted to talk, and that was a mistake.
Guys, they're really playing with this beer a lot. They did a version called Grey Monday, which is hazelnuts.
I didn't hear about
added to
this.
it. Yeah.
I did not go to this party.
Well, no, this was not at the party. This was specifically for Beechwood's gastronomy dinner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did one pony
just
keg
sounds
of it. Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
So, I mean, as much as we're jealous of Troegs, we do have Black Tuesday.
No,
So
Black
makes the
Tuesday,
world right.
The cool thing about Black Tuesday, it was a hodgepodge kind of beer. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, Tyler had grains sitting around in the brewery, and he wanted to make a beer out of it.
Yep.
And they did. They had a lot of problems, just to summarize, a lot of problems in the process, but it turned out to be a really, really good beer.
Yeah.
And I also have to throw out, in case people don't know this, the wonders of the internet age. I think they put out, like, on their Facebook page or something like that, yeah, we had this crazy brew day, and it sucked, and it fell apart. What should we call this beer? And one of the fans named it Black Tuesday, which is awesome.
So it just completely worked out. And this beer, I mean...
I think there's over 3,000 pounds of grain in this beer.
Wow.
That's so epic.
Yeah, the grain bill is over 3,000
Well,
pounds.
that depends on the barrel size, like how many barrels.
Yeah,
but I mean,
on 120 barrels,
yeah,
that's like a mild.
Right, no, they're doing...
Who knows? It's a lot of grain.
I was going to say, but it's... I think their standard is like...
30 barrels?
Like 30 well, to maybe put it in perspective, the anniversary beers that they do are just over 2,000 pounds.
Which in and of themselves are huge beers.
Right.
Those are like 10% beers.
But this beer is 18. This year's was 18.3, I believe. 18.3. The first year was 19.5. Second year 18.2. This year 18.3. So they have it nailed.
They pretty much, they got it right around that sweet spot.
And I can't remember if it was this one that Patrick was talking about, but when they went to Placentia's town hall, they had to go to the town hall to...
That was for year 2.
Was it year 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he thought it was going to go over 20%.
Yeah, he's like, we're brewing this beer and it might be 22%.
And I remember you recorded on your
Right.
phone and people like started clapping.
Exactly.
And I was just
And
like,
even one of the city council members like, I want some of that beer.
Yeah.
So,
but we were actually when we were brewing like a pilot batch at the brewery a few weeks back, probably a month ago, and they were actually recirculating Black Tuesday, like next year's Black Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that I honestly have to say, like, as like, a brewing geek, that was one of the most awesome things ever, because they had Black Tuesday in the tank. They were recirculating it, which you normally don't do when a beer's fermenting, but with something this huge, you have to, so the yeast keep going.
Exactly.
And they were also feeding it extra sugar.
Exactly.
And
they were testing it for like gravity levels and all this stuff. And the whole time, another brewer was there. I don't know who it was, but it was like, I came in at this and Tyler was like, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're on track.
Yeah, no, and
like, we're watching them like make Black Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here in the back going, this is awesome.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
I got to take a swig of that, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, because they poured some off the fermenter to go test it, and I was like, can I have a taste? He's
Did
like,
you check in on Untapped?
No, I did not. Because it does not taste anything like Black Tuesday at this point. It's really actually
Incredibly
kind of
sugary.
horrible.
Could you live with Alpha Supreme?
Incredibly sugary.
So-
yeah, exactly.
I googled
So-
Alpha Supreme, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if anyone's had it. I'm like, Steve had it. Me and Matt were driving down there. I'm like, that's why he didn't want to drive with me. He wanted to go drink it before me. I was like, no, wait, this was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had Alpha Supreme when it was just out of the fermenter. Yeah.
But yeah, Black Tuesday, obviously, it's an iconic beer. It's a well sought after beer. It's a hyped beer, and the hype is no joke.
Yeah, it lives
Yeah.
up to the hype. It's one of I will say this, it's one of the few beers that lives up to the hype behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, there's a lot of beers out there, and it's not to say that those are not good beers, but their hype is so incredibly intense that nothing could live up to it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna name a name
and-
right now.
No, don't.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, no.
No,
not going
I was
there.
thinking the exact same thing. Like, I can think of some beers in my head that it's like, yeah, everyone wants to go to this beer on this day to get this. This is one that
It's worth the effort.
it's not
Definitely.
a letdown.
It's worth the 30 minutes it takes to order it online.
Well, that
So-
and if you can trade for it, you know, don't go all out. You know, I mean, it's a really
Don't
good
give
beer.
up your soul.
But I mean,
It's an awesome beer.
And if
but
you're
not
trading
your soul.
Black Tuesday,
Wow.
don't ask for their soul.
Exactly.
You know, it's just craft beer. Let's all love each other.
exactly.
Yeah. Now
Exactly
a
is being
first
thrown
vintage,
on a lot.
first year,
Exactly.
trade your soul for that one.
But again, and one of the reasons why I equate it to Planet of the Younger is because that's another beer that I think lives up to the hype that has behind it. Is that's such an amazing example of that beer.
Dark Lord.
Dark Lord is another one that's really good. Darkness, there are so many good imperial
Yeah.
stouts out there.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I was really excited about International Stout Day was that stouts and porters historically have always been my favorite style of beer.
Okay.
And I've kind of pulled away from that in the last year or two, and I've kind of become a massive hophead. But
Haven't we all?
yeah, the idea behind, like what John said, the spectrum of stouts is so freaking
incredibly
huge,
broad, yeah.
and there's so much you can do with a stout beer. You know that as a brooding home brewer, I want to start brewing stouts. Even though, like right now, like I said earlier, I'm brewing beers that I just want to put on kegs and just drink nonstop.
Yeah, because stouts are something that they take time.
Stouts you can play with, and you
Literally,
can
they
just
take
do so much
they take
stuff with it.
You know, in this like Black Tuesday's case, I don't know about Williamsburg and Troegs, but you know, at least a year on a barrel, and before that, it's got to ferment out and they got to recirculate. They put so much work. This beer costs $30 a bottle for a reason.
Right.
It takes a lot to make it and a lot of manpower to make it, and they're working on such a small scale that, you know, it's. If they don't charge that much money for it, they're at a loss.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
really worth that money.
Yeah. You want to know
It's
something awesome?
Delicious.
I actually had a friend of mine who was a home brewer, did a Black Tuesday clone.
How'd it
Really?
taste?
It was insane.
Good.
It was really, really close. The barrel character wasn't quite there because he was using like oak cubes that were soaked in whiskey, so it wasn't quite there. But yeah, it was like same thing, 18.5%. He actually called them and he got the whole fermentation.
Maybe
schedule
he's
from
somebody
them.
you should have on
How
your
mu-
homebrew
well,
show,
how
MBT
much-
Brewing, so that
actually-
we can get the recipe.
Yeah, really.
Hashtag
Well,
just saying.
How much time did he put into that beer, though?
It sat, I think, on oak for like 8 months or something like
That's a
that.
beer you do not give away.
Ex-
No, I'm serious.
Exactly.
If I
Yeah.
brew
For
that
sure.
beer, it's like if you come over, dude. So where's your Black Tuesday clone?
Yeah.
In my
Here's,
cellar where it
here's,
belongs.
here's 3 ounces.
Actually, you want to know something funny? I believe that
F
he.
off. Move along now.
Yeah, I actually believe that he packaged it in
These are not the
6
clones
ounce
you're looking
bottles.
for.
Okay.
The nips, you know what I mean? Like I think Rogue uses these sometimes. It's like a 187
Right,
milliliter
right.
champagne
Right.
split.
For their like experimental beers. or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
So I want to give a little shout out to the Beer Goddess on Twitter @the Beer Goddess. She is the one who organized and got Stout Day put together in a similar fashion as to the Beer Wench who got International IPA
And
Day.
Ryan-
rolling,
Ryan, too.
right. Awkward hugs over the internet for Stout Day. Thank you. That was a great idea. Also, thank you for moving it to Thursday so we could do a show on Stout Day.
Hey,
Win.
now.
That was awesome as well. And as always, until next time, stay safe and drink beer.
Drink stout.
We want to take a moment after the show to toast and say a fond farewell to somebody that's very important to the LA craft beer scene, Dave Farnsworth, who a couple of days ago passed away. He dealt with some serious illness for a while. It was a very sad day. We wanted to wait till after the show because we didn't want to kind of bring a serious, heady topic into it. But he is a massive influence in what is now the LA craft beer scene. He was a good friend of mine. He was an amazing friend of Dr. Bill's.
Yeah, he was a big, as far as from talking to Bill, he was a big influence on Bill.
Right.
And everything that Bill is now, just because of how he introduced Belgian and foreign beers basically to LA.
Big bringer of imports.
Dave was the kind of guy that if you were at Lucky Baldwin's and you were drinking beer, he would join you, he would share a beer with you, he would introduce you to something new. He was really, really just cool and not...
Down to earth.
Yeah, just down to earth. He was such a great guy. It's a really sad time right now in his passing. We just want to do a quick cheers and a toast to Dave. You'll definitely be missed. And cheers to Lucky Baldwin's.